Hi, Teaquilters. Today is Wednesday, August 28th, 2024. It is 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we're here for 1 hour live chat. Today, I'm going to be showing you some of, some of my fall items that I have made. It started out with me gonna show you guys, machine embroidery items, but when I went downstairs to get quilts, the fall quilts were easy for me to pull out, and I have a lot of machine embroidered projects from fall, Christmas, I'm trying to think, like summer, like floral, things like that. So I pulled out a couple, um like one from spring, one from floral, and then all the rest of them just happen to be fall. So we're gonna call this a fall um, quilt show, I guess. So we're gonna wait for people to get in. Let me pull you guys up on my phone because I haven't done that. Gotta search, and I need to turn the volume down because this is my real phone. So let's see. Teaquilts Live. Gotta find the one I want. It's not showing up. Yeah, right there. Okay. So I've got this board just sitting here freestanding. These are my stack and whack blocks. I did a lot of sewing. You all know that I was working on, I had sewed 60 half square triangles. Well, I made those into the 4 pieces that go around the blocks on here. So I have these 4 pieces made from those 60. I have looked at the other 2 sets where I was short pieces, and I cut the fabrics I need to finish the other 2 sets. So I still have 40 half square triangles to make. This is what was left, a large block left over from my stack and whack. And then this was cut from the ends. It's not the same size as this, it's smaller. And then this was one end of the strip when I cut, and this was the other end of the strip when I cut. So these are just leftovers that I'll probably piece to put on the back. I have my stack and whack top, the inner part done. I still need to put borders on it, and then I also put the first border on my D2M. I decided I'm going to put a second border. If we get time, I'll show you that. Otherwise, we'll just wait till Saturday or something like that. And then I have a few things that I forgot that I haven't even showed you all that I've had for a long time. So if we get to that, I'll show you that. If not, it'll wait till Saturday. We got Deborah Quilts here, Maddie Barnum, Sue Allen, Deborah Sims Brown, Kim R, Sue GSD saying we have 300 really long days until the absolute favorite retreat of all time begins, the 2025 Teaquilts retreat. So yes, I'm still working with that. It's the end of the month, so I'm getting payments in for that. I sent out a payment for the week, for last week on Sunday. And then this week coming up, I'll send another one out on Sunday as well, letting people know who payments I have received, and then also letting people know who haven't paid for the week and that I haven't heard from. If you need more time, I'm kind of flexible with your payments. I just need to make sure I have enough in to pay the facility and pay for the bus schedule, and then I can front some of the money for the other things that occur. But yeah, it's like I have to rent a trailer. I've been thinking about buying one. I've already bought like design walls, so each room have a design wall. So it's certain things, all the little things that add up. Yeah, that. Especially when you're trying to get it for major number of people. Sheila Willis is here, Brenda Perkins, Brenda Foley, Claudette Hall, Dolores Phelps, Michelle the Quilter, Nikki B. I'm laughing at Michelle the Quilter's comments telling Sue that soon it will be in the 200s. Right. The days fly by. Dee Branson, Miss Topaz is here, Peggy O'Connor, Melinda C., Benita Nan saying hello to everyone. We miss you, Benita. I know you're busy. My brother Ray Mahone's here. Vivian Calvi is also here. And Rosalind H is here. So welcome everybody to the chat. So this is going to start out like just show and tell, basically. That's all. Because I decided to go ahead and show you a few quilts that were not machine embroidered because everybody doesn't have that capability. Also, I wanted to show you my flexibility with products. I mean, with projects, not products, but projects. I'm a kind of like a jack of all trades. If you name it, I've done it at least once. Whether I'll ever do it again is a whole nother issue. But I've done regular piecing, paper piecing, machine applique, hand applique, hand embroidery, machine embroidery. So it's you know, needle turn, and I said needle turn, I think. So yeah, any type of project or style of quilting, I've just about done it all. I've even done like freezer paper embroidery, where you just use the freezer paper, but you don't actually sew on the paper. I've done freezer paper embroidery where you use it to turn under your pieces. Fusible applique, where I reduce the bulk of the applique, especially when you're putting on lots of layers. I've done flip and sew techniques that look like it was paper pieced, but it was kind of like crazy quilting where you cut stuff, cut a stack of fabrics, and then you rearrange them to make photos. So I've done just about every technique out there. So, hi Joyce Baker. So first thing up is what's sitting here on my sewing machine. This I used to have just sitting like on a table. I used to decorate, which I haven't in a long time. Since maybe 2015, I have not decorated for Christmas, Halloween, or the spring. And then I also have patriotic. I forgot one month. So those are the four things that I normally decorate for. And then I just have generic quilts sometimes that I'll leave out all year round. But this was cute because it would just sit on the table, and then you could prop the arms and legs any kind of way you like. And it's been in storage since 2015, okay? So it may not sit up here by itself. It's got little weighted beads in the bottom. All I have to do is just reformat those, and then they'll, you know, move them around a little bit, and then they will show up. Hi, Melody Kiefer. Welcome to the chat. So that's what this is. So we'll just move it on out the way so that it doesn't get done. And I thought I would just go ahead and start with the regular stuff, and then we'll get into the machine embroidered stuff last. So I'm just going to take down a few of these. This one is just traditional piecing for fall seam, but I did hand embroidery on the Happy Harvest. I think my friend and I, Deborah, I think she's still in here, Deborah Quilts. She and I would sometimes work on the same projects or motivate each other to work on the same project. So she had to really motivate me to do some handwork on this Happy Harvest. And I don't have a label on this one, which is weird. I got down here, Happy Harvest by T. Mahone. It's just written on the binding that it was made in 2006. So it took me 5 days. Wait a minute. That's not right. It took me longer than that because I had to work up to doing the handwork. I started this in May of that year, of 2006. And I didn't finish it until November of 2006. Okay, so almost 6 months because I didn't want to do this hand part, but I did it. Deborah probably had hers done in less than 5 days. So this is the first one. Just want to show you some traditional work as well for people that are not machine embroiderers. Bonita says she was at Quiltville and met Bonnie Hunter and a host of other quilters. I was focused on finishing a quilt for a charity home for me. Oh, that's cool. Time just got away from me. So that's cool. I'm glad you got to meet her. So that's one. And I don't know, let me just put them right here for right now because I'm just pulling out stacks. All right. The next one is your traditional freezer paper, fusible web applique. But with this technique, you kind of put a piece of tulle over the top. So it has a piece of black tulle, and then you just quilt over it. And this was made in 2012. It's called Spooky Silhouette. Looks like I just made this in a day because it didn't take long. And the pattern source was Fons and Porter's Quilting Celebrations. So I did write all of that on the back. So again, I didn't stitch over any of this fusible stuff because the tulle is on top of it. You just quilt the top. And I just did freestyle lines. You may can see them better on the back. And then I also added a sleeve right here, so you use a curved hanger, and then that helps keep it so that it will slip into something and hold from here and not make it pucker when it was on the wall. Now remember, all of these have been in storage since 2015. I thought about going to the iron and pressing them, but I'm like, nope, because they're going right back in storage. I am not decorating even though they're out. So don't mind the wrinkles. Mr. Pumpkin is so cute. Happy Harvest is really nice. Thank you. Very pretty from Maddie. I like the harvest quilt. Thank you. And spooky good. Maddie Barnum says so cute. Okay, and I'm going to try to keep up with these chat comments, but they do come in a little later, so sometimes I won't know which quilt you're talking about. Now, this one is one where I tell you there's, like, I use Heat and Bond Light, and then there is Heat and Bond, which is regular. Heat and Bond Light comes with purple writing on it, and Heat and Bond Ultra or regular comes with red writing. So you do, if you're colorblind, you can mix it up, but one's purple, one is red. And that is what I use with this, is the red one. And I didn't do any stitching around the appliques, and this quilt was made in 2008, and I'm gonna let you see it back here so you can see as much of it as possible. And then I'm gonna come up close. This quilt has been folded in my I pulled it out. I have never repressed this again. And this the appliques are stuck down. They ain't going nowhere. Even the little pieces in my cat and ghost eyes, they do not come off. They are stuck. Ultra is a fusible that you do not want to stitch over. You can try, but your needle is going to get gummed up. And then as your needle gets gummed up, you're going to then start to have skip stitches. So, hi, Janet McCarroll. Oh, boy, show and tell, right. Absolutely. So I like how, like, I'm showing you things, and then I'm showing you, like, different technique of products as well. So just know the difference in your fusibles. If it's something that's going to be seasonal, only come out one time a year, You can use the fusible heating source that does not need to be stitched at all. Sometimes if I have it, like I have one that's really big and it's like a chair topper, so the back part is all plain and then all the stuff is kind of at the bottom because it's going to be sitting on the front of the chair. And I pre-quilted the background piece before I put the appliques on, and then I used the heavy. On this one, I stitched in the ditch of my pieces, so I stitched first again. Let me just show you the back. And then I didn't do any stitching after that because the pieces, the applique pieces, go over the seam lines. Let me show you the front again. See how the witch is going over the seam line of my piecing? So this one too, I did quilt ahead of time. I didn't realize that until I was talking about it. So that's a technique too. You can just quilt 2 pieces of fabric or piece quilt. If you got a landscape of 2 or 3 different prints, you can quilt that and then put your applique pieces on top. That works too. Just in the ditch of my piecing. It's just stitched in the ditch, Rosalind. And Deborah says she did the Happy Harvest and the pumpkin too. I thought she did this cat too. I thought she did this one as well, but I don't remember. But so far she's done 2 or 3. I think she's done 3 of 3. And Nikki says those are adorable. So thank you, thank you. So again, we're still working with traditional applique. This time I used Heat and Bond Light, but I stitched around this. And this is called the pumpkin patch. I think it's on the front. Is it on the front or the back? Okay, and let me see where the label is because it's got to have it on here. I don't know. Oh, the pumpkin patch. I wrote it on the back, and I'll tell you why I can't see it. This was also made from July 9th through 12, 2008. So this was another quick project. It's called the pumpkin patch again. It was a pattern. I can't remember if it was in a magazine or if it was a standalone pattern. I can't remember if Deborah did this one too. But yeah, you know how sometimes you buy panels that make books or panels that make ornaments or panels that will make an apron, and then years down the road you like, I ain't gonna make that. And so at one point I was about ready to throw all of that fabric out because I thought, you know, it's so god awful ugly. It is not going to, nobody is gonna want it. It's not gonna sell. That's when I started using that type of stuff as quilt backings. So this was supposed to be a scarecrow, not a pumpkin, a scarecrow, the backing. And I just started using this type of stuff on my quilt backs. I don't even care. And as you all know, I have hanging sleeves. As you can see on some of them, I have hanging sleeves on the back. So when I do go to put them up, I have various different rotted hanging devices where I can just put these on there. But yeah, that's why I had a hard time finding the label information because I wrote it on here. And it's in the shoe of the scarecrow. That was supposed to be a standalone stuffed scarecrow. Okay, I'm like, ain't nobody got time for that. So yeah. Deborah said she didn't do the pumpkin patch. Okay. She didn't do the pumpkin patch. That was the last one I showed. Remo is here. Saying hello to everyone. Thumbs up. Show your love and support to our educator. Thank you, ma'am. Thinking of Remo, her and her group has sent me another card. I'm not going to put that on here. But thank you guys so much. I got it today. I went to the mailbox on Saturday and then I hadn't been back until today. So thank you so much. Bonita H.A. says beautiful quilts. Thank you. Minnie Doula is here. All right, so let's keep going. Next thing up, technique wise, is paper piecing. A lot of people don't like paper piecing, but I love paper piecing. And I used to love doing a lot of Carol Doak's paper piecing. She has beautiful standalone paper piecing. She was one of the first to come out with paper piecing patterns. My favorite paper piecer of all times is Paper Panache because she does very difficult type things. And Benita, if you're in here, can you put that designer that will teach you how to make your own? So if you've got something you want to make into paper piecing, she has a class where she teaches you how to do that. I would really appreciate it because I think that's important too. When they had the class, I couldn't attend one of the class dates, so I didn't do it, but I think that's truly wonderful. But this one was one of her fall seams. Let me make sure it's right side up. Yep. And this one is called Autumn's Welcome. And I made it, I started July 6th of 2000 and finished it September 7th of 2000. It's paper pieced in sections. So like all of these little things, whatever it took to make one section before you needed to cut and make another section. So each part of this scene in the middle was made in sections, and then you put all of those sections together. And she had one for every season. Over blocking, had one for every season, but I only got Autumn's Welcome done, and I wish I had done the other three because I really did like them. And then I also paper pieced the trees that I added as a border all the way around. And I don't know if that was in her pattern or if I just added it, but it was paper pieced as well. This fabric here in the border was one of Deborah's and my favorite fabrics. We had it in red and had it in blue. And boy, we wish we would pay $1 million if we could find that blue. That blue was so pretty. But it was one of our favorite fabrics at the time. All right. Next one is another technique. You don't use any fusible at all. It's called snippets. It was out long time ago. So it's so funny because even when we were doing these techniques, I'd go back and look in old Quilters newsletter magazines from like 30 years ago, and you would see the same thing that people come out and say this is new. Nothing is new that you see. It's just changing the fabric. So yeah. Hi Anita. Welcome. Michelle says, what a great idea for backing. That was on the Scarecrow. Hi, Sean from Go Savvy Designs. Hi, Janice Miller. And Bonita says that paper piecer's name is Dana E. Jones. So I would like for you all to look her up, and she's giving you all her website down there, www.danajonesquilts.com. Classes are posted on her site. So thank you so much, because I feel like, sometimes you might have something that you need personally done, or you want to personally know how to do it, and then you're not stuck doing paper piecing for something that you may not have liked a particular tree, or you didn't know how to get that out of the seam because it ran in with something else. It can help you with that as well. So thank you so much. And Deborah says this fabric also came in green, but I didn't have green. I just had the blue and red. I wasn't a green lover of, only when it came to foliage, so I didn't care what the green looked like. So yeah. So this last one, and Remo took the class and said that class was fun. So awesome. So this is snippets. It's just one. I have another one around here somewhere. Might be, I don't know where it's at. It might be in my bathroom. But again, I only took one quilt off the wall because I wasn't taking all this stuff off my wall. It's easy for me to go put this back in a container. But yeah, so you're basically just cutting, you fuse. Yes, you do you use fusible web? Let me see. Yeah, we did use fusible web. We put fusible web on like chunks of scrap. Say you have 5-inch squares, so we'd cut 4 3/4 inch piece of fusible web, and then we would just cut them into choppy little pieces of any kind. These, I left my pieces more concentrated, like in the background of these blues. This this blue is just one piece, and then I laid other cut pieces on top of it to give it some dimension, so you can use larger chunks. But my other one was a flower one, and I use all small pieces. But you make your own landscape or flower, or we had a flower in a vase. So yeah. And then when I got through, I just went on around it with adding in couching with yarns and threads, because I was just trying to make this one different. And I did all of the quilting and couching all the way through to the back. So you just wait till you get it all ready for quilting, and then you go ahead and do that. Wanted you all to see some of that quilting. So this one was done in 2003. It took me a year to get the quilting done. Sometimes I'll get the project done and then it'll sit for years. I have about 50 quilts that need to be quilted. Okay. That's me. I told you all that if I had to pick, if we were all working in a sweatshop and I had to pick where I wanted to work, I would be in the piecing section because I really like to piece. After that, I'm kind of bored and done and over the project once it's made. I just like piecing blocks. I like things to be different. That's why I like doing sampler quilts. So I'm a piecer. And Bonita says she needed a globe pattern and couldn't find one, so she made the foundation pattern herself. Love the landscapes, beautiful. Deborah says we did snippets. I did a vase of flowers and a Christmas wreath. And Claudette says hello to everyone. Hi, Claudette Bettis. This one is the one where they've changed the name of the company and I can't remember what it is. And now I've lost the name of the other. Born something. Let me see if I wrote it on the label. I may not have. Buggy Born. But the name has changed because the woman who done it, I think it was 2 people and one lady got out of it, but they had to go to a different name because they didn't agree to sell the name. You know, when you buy a business, you have to also buy that name. So the name had to change. And they did make you aware of the name change. It wasn't like the woman was saying you couldn't tell them. So for a certain period of time, it was out there. But I can't tell you what the new name is because all of my books that I have from this particular company are under the name Buggy Born. This one is If the Hat Fits. And it's going to be bigger than what I can hold up here. But I've got some hand embroidery, I'm assuming. Or it could be couched. I think it could be, well, it's hand embroidery and then I quilted over it. That's what it is. So some of the stars and things like this have hand embroidery here. And then it has 3D witches' feet. And I'm not going to be able to show you all of this, I know. But, yeah, it's really pretty. I really love this. It's one of my favorites. I love Buggy Born patterns because it looks like you paper pieced, but you didn't. And y'all know that I don't like pulling all the paper off of paper pieces. I love the 3D feet that are on here. I've seen where people have stuffed these and had them in there, but you know, it was like, I'm not going to do that because it's just going to be something bulky for me to have to store. And I felt like, you know, it would make it so that my container, when I put my stuff in the container, it would not be as flat. So I didn't, she doesn't tell you the stuff, but I've seen people that have stuffed them, but I did not. This was made, I started August and I finished in November of 2012. Like the 3D effect. Annette Bailey is here. Hi, welcome to the chat. Remo's reminding you guys to hit the thumbs up button, okay? Love the witch's feet, and Deborah says love the way the feet hang. Right, and that was what made me really want to do it. But like the technique itself is really cool. So I'm going to show you a few things that are not. Oh, this is machine embroidered. Okay, so I'm showing you the stuff now that's all machine embroidered. So that's what's up next. Let me move my stack. But the first ones, I don't know what this so-called important notification come through here is. These first ones are not fall. I'm just going to show you these and get them out the way. So I got two that are kind of springish, but I wanted to show with machine embroidery. I was thinking mostly in the hoop when I first was telling you, like tile projects and things like that. But this is one of those projects where if you don't have a big enough hoop, you take one piece of fabric and you have to use like placement guides to know where to put your pieces. And so I think I hooped this 4 times to get this to stitch out. And it's really pretty. It actually goes like this because I'm trying to read the name. It's called Magical Tulip Gardens. And it's by one of our famous people. And her name is not on the back. I don't know how I forgot that. But I made this September of 2019. And then when I quilted, her quilting on the embroidery was so detailed that I did not do that. Right here, you can see up close some of the machine embroidery. This is Sarah Velder. I figured out her name now. Velder Designs is what this is. And so I was originally going to make this as a pillow, but then I opted to just go ahead and make it as a little small wall hanger because I'm like, girl, we ain't going to be using this as no pillow, okay? So I made it as a little small wall hanging. And then this one is one of my favorites, and it's by Designs and Machine Embroidery. And I've shown this for something else when you all asked me about something. I showed this before. So I'm just going to put it up close so you can see it. All of this stitching in the blocks was done by the embroidery design. So it made the applique butterflies, and then it also quilted the background. The only thing that I quilted was in the sashings. I put a serpentine stitch in the sashings, and that's all that I quilted freehand on my own. I'm going to bring this back so you can see the whole thing. I just wanted you to see up close to see the stitching. To see the stitching. That's the whole thing. This is called Butterfly Glow. It's a pattern set you can buy. It's machine embroidery designs. Designs and machine embroidery. I made this in less than a month. I started on March 26th, went to the 31st of 2014. What I like about hers is that it's put together as quilt as you go. So I didn't have to, it was all quilted in the hoop anyway. And so they quilted it to the backing fabric. And then I put it together, quilt as you go. And I used the same fabric as my backing, so it just blends in nicely. You just barely see it because it isn't the same texture of quilting as in here. I just got a serpentine stitch in here. So that was my quilt as you go in, and you see my beautiful label right there. I put a butterfly on it. Sometimes I put, if I'm in machine embroidering a label, and I got, the extra wherewithal, the extra oomph within me, I'll go ahead and make a pretty label. Otherwise, it's just all labeled text. And because I really don't care in the end. But every once in a while, I'll surprise myself and do one. This is the one that started this show and tell tonight. Is I was talking about doing tile scenes. And I had the Statue of Liberty. And I was talking about how it used over 30 different spools of thread, and when I first started machine embroidery, this was my second tile scene that I had done. And I think the first one was a Christmas tile scene, which I don't have because I didn't go into Christmas because I would have had to move all the sewing machines I just put downstairs, and I wasn't going to do that. I went to the easiest spot to get quilts tonight, and it just happened to be fall, and it's really appropriate to what's coming up. But I did this Statue of Liberty, and it has 12 tiles. And tiles are, you can see by the satin stitch in between the blocks, each one of those, when you're doing this type of project, is called a tile. It's called a block. And then when you put it together, the entire thing is called a tile scene. And all those different shadings of thread, it doesn't look to the eye like this is 30 different spools of thread. Each one of these little bitty squares here probably took up to an hour to do each square. And this was the one I was talking about when people say, how much does something cost? And I have to tell somebody, well, I spent $150 in just thread alone buying those little small spools, because that's what I started out with, because I needed so many spools of thread. It was cheaper to buy lots of those than to buy the sizes that I use now, because I find the larger the size, the better it works with the sewing machine. But this was made March 14th to April 12th, so it took me about a month in 2009 to make this. And this hangs on my wall daily. It's in my dining room. But yeah, her cute. Hi, Cynthia Shade. Deborah says, One Sister Design took over Buggy Born. Yep, and one of them got out. But when business is business, it's still business, right? Rosin says, I like your label on the butterfly quilt. Thank you, thank you. And Diane McCoy is here. Welcome to the chat. Mary is here. Welcome, welcome. Saying, wow, that's pretty. Cedra Creations, love your show and tell. Thank you. All right, so that's everything on my chair. Now we're going to do everything is still going to be machine embroidered, still sort of by topics in a way. So I got some things that are called in the hoop. So when you're buying machine embroidery designs and they have ITH behind it, it means in the hoop, meaning that the entire project is made in the hoop. So it could be a tote bag. I've shown you all where I've done particular things like that. I forgot to bring the bookmark in here. I forgot to pick it up. A lace bookmark, so you can just use just thread by hooping water soluble stabilizer. I forgot to bring that. But these are made by just hooping a piece of tearaway stabilizer. You can make door handles. When I decorated, I had door knocker hangers. I had wreaths on the door. I had the whole 9 yards, okay? So you can make things like that. For Halloween, one year, I made treat bags. I kept one of each. And I used to have about like 13 to 15 kids. And so then I would make my own little treat bags for them. And this is just one that was made in the hoop. And then this is also another one that was made in the hoop. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, these are Anita Good design. And these were made in 2009. I don't know when this one was made, but it was probably around the same time because I was getting the house ready. And then they have things that are on a Anita Good design called danglers. And you make all of these little separate units. This has been in storage now. Don't talk about my skeleton bones. But you make all of these different separate units in the hoop. So that's a lot of hooping, a lot of project, a lot of product. And then you can put them on the wall. And when you put them on the wall, you can shape them by putting a little tack or something to hold the arm up in whatever position. This one's permanently folded up because it's been in storage, okay? You can do what you want with the legs as well. And I like that. And then they just button together. So I could take it apart because they just have buttonholes. And you can use whatever bead or button you want. And then that's how they're put together. But I have never taken it apart. Once it's made, the buttonhole is just what's holding it. And it's keeping it, even if you use a small button. I use a bead. I use beads on mine. And then you can shape and move him any way you want. And then for the back of my danglers, I take the little things that come on socks that hang your socks at the store. I used to keep those when I knew I was going to be making a lot of this type of stuff, and that's what I used to hang my danglers with. Hi, Jackie Jones. Mary trying to tell me I got to start decorating again for Jersey. Girl, I don't know what you talking about. We'll see one day. I've been thinking about selling this stuff, but I haven't yet. But, you know, we'll see. Let me move this stuff out because I got little pieces. I don't want them to get knocked to the floor. Okay, what most people see is just standalone embroidery designs, and then if you don't use them, they just start collecting, because when you first get an embroidery machine, you just start embroidering whatever. Hi, Yolanda, welcome. And so then I had a lot of that type of stuff because it was fun to just watch the machine sew for a period of time. And then after that, I set my machines up where I can have the embroidery going back here and I can still be doing something else, because I'm like, I don't need to watch you. So you can always do little quilts, or you can make them into larger quilts. But I decided to make mine into pillows. And I did this for like I said, every season. So I had this in patriotic, Christmas, fall, and spring. Those were the 4 things that I decorated for. And then I had just basic stuff that I would have around. And just make a basic pillow sham. This is just one where you just flip the pillow out. Whenever I made my pillow covers, I always quilted it to a piece of batting just to give it some dimension up on the front instead of just keeping it flat. You don't have to quilt it, but I like quilting it. So I just wanted to show you that. 741. And then this one, it's a standalone embroidery as well. And those designs, sometimes you can like Google free Halloween designs, and then I think most of those Halloween designs were free. And I always would stitch out a test one to make sure, because you don't want to, if you putting it say on a sweatshirt, you don't want to put a free design on a sweatshirt. People are using you when things are free as testers. So if something is wrong, somebody will let them know. So don't go complaining to the designer when you've got something free and telling them that it's all wrong and whatever. You have to eat that loss because they gave it to you for free. You didn't pay any money. What do you want? A refund of what? 0? No. So I always just use muslin. But this time I knew I wanted to use muslin as a backing, but I didn't want it plain. So what I did ahead of time, before I did my embroidery design, was that I stitched using my decorative stitches and made panels. And this was a whole pack of designs, but I just pulled these 2 that were all kind of candy cornish type designs. But yeah, it's called Happy Halloween, and it was made in October of 2007. And then I even added just regular machine embroidery in the middle, and then I used my decorative stitches again to do all of that. So I use decorative stitching for quilting. And this is one of my favorite pieces, and it's because of the decorative stitching in the background. I wonder if Anita Good Design are still, yes, they're still in business. They going strong. And I at one point, Deborah and I both signed up for Anita Good Design, where you get the blocks, the designs every we signed up for 1 year. We went to a class and they had it at a discount. We signed up for 1 year so that we could get all the designs that we wanted, because if you didn't like the current month that came out, you could go into the store and replace it with one of the designs that you do want. By the time we got through, because Deborah and I were making sure we had everything, okay? my God. Yolanda says, thanks for sharing. My pleasure. Thanks for watching. So I got this next one is, again, single designs, but I want to show people, a lot of people just take single designs and they put sashing and then they're done. And I want to show, I'm always one of those people that I hated machine embroidery when I first started doing it, because I'm like, this is too simplistic for me. So I had to sit down and figure out different ways that I could use these embroidery designs without it just being plopped onto a piece of white fabric and nothing else is happening with it. That wasn't enough for me. I'm always one of them people that I want my stuff to be different. If we got the same embroidery, or even in Quilt Guild, we got 20 people in a class making the same quilt. I want to make sure that I know my quilt from afar. I don't want to have to get up on my quilt and know, oh, that's my quilt. I can tell you my quilt at the door because I've done something crazy to it that makes me know it. So I had done a quilt pattern. And this right here is called Trick or Treat Street. And I can't remember what I called the quilt pattern. It's on my website. And it's made for 12-inch blocks. So I had all of these probably free embroidery designs again for Halloween. And I minimized my pattern and made it into a miniature. And it's been a long time since I taught it like once, because it is, you know, you got to have blocks. And I like that it has, I think, 8 blocks in here. It's an odd number of blocks. It's not like you have to have 12 blocks or 9 blocks. I think it's 8. I'm looking at the back, so I'm hoping that I'm counting right. And that's what I like about this particular pattern. And then I just love the framing. And even in the little cornerstones, I went and put a little bitty embroidery. You know, we have those little bitty things, and you wonder, why would I ever need a 1-inch embroidery? Well, here it is right here, 1-inch embroidery. So, yeah, I really love this quilt. Let's see, I made it. Did I say the year? I can't remember. This is one of those quilts that I can't remember what year I made it, because I never wrote it on the label. I got the label on the back. It's got the name and it's got my made by, but I never came back and put the date on here when I put the binding on here. That's why I now do machine labels on my quilts. So whenever I put the binding on, I'll just add, like if I'm finishing this quilt today and I'm making my label, I'll put tomorrow's date on it, because I figured I can, in 2 days, I should be able to get the binding done. Otherwise, I'd be forgetting to put the dates on it. So, yeah. Ooh, like that. Everything's so pretty. That's Anita Scott. Hey, girl, hey. So, yeah. Now we're getting into the tiles for the fall. This one is done by Dakota Collectibles. This is the only one of theirs that I did. I do think I have all the designs for every season, but this is the only one that I got done. I did it in 6 days, July 24 through 30 in 2009. It's very pretty. I don't know why I don't ever follow through. It's like I start doing them because the next season is coming up, and then I never, after that season, like after or during fall, I never did the Christmas one, but I like them all. And I did a Victorian Village one. The Statue of Liberty was actually BFC designs. This one's Dakota Collectibles. And I haven't done I only done a few of their designs. I wasn't like really in love with Dakota Collectibles. I have a few of their designs, but I like their tiles better than anything that they've done. I just didn't like them for standalone designs. This one is called Covered Bridge, and it's Anita Good design. It has 29 threads. It took me 8 bobbins of pre-wound bobbin thread. That's how much thread is in these quilts. And 24 hours to stitch blocks. So I totaled up how many hours it took me to stitch these 12 blocks. I think it's 12. Let me make sure. Yeah. So it's called Covered Bridge. Again, Anita Good design. And I just stitched like leaves. I got leaves in the border that are just freestanding leaves. And I probably did that by some machine embroidery design that was like an applique for a leaf. And I just used it to stitch out the borders. And then everywhere else, the leaf stuff was in the block. All the background stitching was inside the centers, and then in the outside I just stitched leaves in the outer border. And then my label right here, I have a little frame around it. That's all. I do that sometimes too. I'll put a frame around it. Covered Bridge by Anita Good Design. I love Anita Good Design because this one is Anita Good Design as well. Another tile quilt. This one's called Crazy Pumpkin. This is when they came out with the crazy patch. I was like, oh my God, this is going to be awesome. And so then they'll tell you like how many fabrics to use. And you need to use the number of fabrics that they tell you, because when you're going from one tile to the next, like on this one, they don't have the zigzagging down the center so that you know where the sections are. Sometimes you don't want your sections to show. And so when your fabrics go across one tile to the other, you need to make sure that that fabric is matching up. So when they tell you to number your fabrics and keep them in order, you need to do that because you need to put that fabric in the right place. Otherwise, when it crosses the line, it's going to be a different fabric. It's not that it's wrong. It's just that you're going to kind of chop up the design a little bit more. Because it's crazy quilting after all. It won't be wrong. It's just going to be a little different. And then the last one is Anita Good Design. Let me see what it's called. Haunted House. And I put on this one for some reason, do not wash. I don't know what I put in the middle that I don't want you to wash it. But I have on here in all caps, do not wash. And I started this October 10th and completed it November 27th, all of 2007. I think this was my second tile scene from Anita Good Design. Haunted House was really pretty. I did some free motion words that I put haunted house. I put trick or treat. So I put different words in the border. So I have to turn it back around to read it. But I'm going to pull it up so you guys can see it for right now. Right there. And so you can see some of the stitching. On this, I just used a larger zigzag stitch to just quilt in the ditch because I had already couched. I took some black, I don't know what you call it, kind of like velvet type yarn, and I couched that over the seams of this one. But I really love this. So I did these corner blocks I made myself because again, we had so many free designs, plus we were now starting to buy designs by then. And these are not Anita Good Designs in the corners, just the tiles. And then in the borders, I have Trick or Treat. I got Boo to You. Haunted House might have been Anita's, I'm not sure. That might have been in the design. And then I got Happy Halloween on the other side. So I just put words in there and I just free motion those doing the quilting. There was no designs for that. So yeah, so that's it for it's 7:53. I did good, yay. Yeah, so that was kind of, I wanted to show you all the different things that you could do in machine embroidery. And you all know, I told you I forgot to bring the lace. You can do lace in the hoops. I have lace baskets that's just thread. I have baskets that are made applique with fabric that have then you transform into a basket once you take it out by sewing particular notches together that they have, or using buttons. You can do free hanging stuff. I've made a wreath. I've made some kind of freestanding snowman, but that's in Christmas stuff. So maybe I'll show you all some more stuff on another holiday if I ever decide to go pull some stuff out, because I just fixed that corner when I was redoing the sewing machine storage. And I didn't feel like undoing something when I'm trying to clean up all these different areas. I got stuff sorted. It's like, no, we're not pulling out anything that I got to move what I've already finished. So that's why I didn't want to bring any of the other seasonal stuff. This stuff was out because the butterfly, the flower, and the Statue of Liberty, they're on my wall. So that's why they were out. I wonder if Anita Good Design is still in business. Somebody already asked that. They are. They still make YouTube. They have a YouTube channel. They make YouTube videos. Steve, to me, is an awesome designer. He's still their main designer. I'm sure he's had to hire people. He used to go around doing all the educational training because we had a large quilt shop here that brings in large training events. And I think, especially when I was heavy into machine embroidery, he, to me, was the best designer. John Deere is a good designer as well, but they didn't make the more interesting projects that Anita Good Design did. And so that's why I kind of went with Anita Good Design, because I got a few John Deere stuff, but I just never followed through and did them. BFC, which is an online company, I love their designs. They have a lot of tile scenes. Like they could have a lion or out in the jungle. The Statue of Liberty was there. So they have unique, different things, which is what I like about them. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. Thank you, Remo. Cam says, cute stuff, T. Shane. It's still in the tote. It needs to come out and be enjoyed. I'm sharing it with you all. See, it came out. It's been 2015. When I got my long arm, I had to rearrange a lot of stuff in my house. And then it took up a lot of, when I started rearranging stuff, I started covering the walls that used to hold all of my quilts. And so I don't have many places to hang quilts now. So if I was to go pull out like Halloween stuff, I could replace the 3 things that I just showed you, probably 2 in my bathroom. That would be 5, 6. I'd say I could probably only hang about 10 to 15 things. And then it's like, I got to sit there and choose what I'm going to show. So I just don't even go through it anymore. But who knows? Great trunk show. Thank you. But I get the not wanting to decorate. It's time consuming. It is. And then it's not even, Christmas is the worst one. But, you know, you put this stuff up and it's cute. And then you look up, it's January and I'll still have Halloween on my wall. So that's why I don't do it. Because then stuff comes up and I can't get to it. And then people come over and be like, it's January and she got Halloween on the wall. So I just, you know, leave it alone. I still enjoy it and I appreciate it when I look at it. I wish my daughter would let me decorate her stuff because she got walls for days. But she ain't having it because, you know, she got her own style and it ain't colorful quilted projects, you know. So, yeah. What time is it? So it's only, we only got like 2 minutes. Do y'all want me to show you some stuff I've had for a long time that I haven't even showed because I just keep forgetting? Just let me know in the chat. I don't want to keep you all if you got somewhere to go, something to do. I got to go wash my hair. That's what I got to do. Cedra is also reminding you all to put your thumbs up. I love all those. I can tell I need to do some. That's Mary. Yeah, that's a nice thing about uploading stuff to YouTube is that you always got a visual reference for later. You go, oh, that girl did a haul on fall stuff, so let me go see what she was doing. And like I said, some of it I tried to give you the pattern details if I had it. Some of it had no pattern. So yeah. All right, let's see. People want to see. Okay, because I didn't want to keep you all if y'all didn't want to see. So the first thing I got was checker stuff because I told you all that I had bought yellow and pink, yellow and pink and white. And so I went back and got the yellow and blue chalk. I've already put this into my bag making bag because you just never know what color chalk you're going to need to mark on something. So I've got all the colors now. So these are just extras. They come, you have to buy 3 at a time. But, you know, if I'm going to be using something or I lose something, or I might set up 2, because I might need to put one in my back room as well. I also purchased more of those bone. These are really what you use to fold, open up envelopes and fold and crease paper. But I use these in the corners of my bag, and then I also have the rounded edge for when I round the corners. So that's where I like these. I had bought some from Temu that were cheap, and you all were live with me one night when I snapped it and broke it. And so I went and got, you know, the real thing. I bought some patterns from Villa Rosa. This one's called Icing. I like Villa Rosa because whenever you need to do a quick, easy pattern, and then they're cheap, like, they're starting to go up in price, but I've been still keeping mine at $2 a pattern. So I bought these. I have a lot of them in stock. I need to go update my website now. Kingpin, Little Umbrella, Eclipses. I haven't been reading. Seasons. And I like this one because when you've got those block panels and don't know what to do with them, or if you got some orphan blocks or some machine embroidery blocks, that would work as well. You can use this type of pattern. It just gives it a little direction with giving those arrows, making you look left and right. So I kind of like stuff like that. You're welcome, Michelle, saying thanks for a great trunk show. The other things I got from Checkers, you know, I got the little grandbaby. So I saw that they had some sensory material that makes noise. Well, she likes stuff that makes noise, so I was thinking about making her a pillow, one of the pillows that we gave out, and I'm thinking about like trying to figure out how to put some of this in there because she loves plastic that makes noise and paper, and so I thought this would just drive her crazy to put some of this inside of the pillow, but I have to figure out how to put it in there to make it make noise. And then one last pattern, I just saw I needed something else to bring my cart up so I could place an order, so I just did this Uptown Debbie brown set, which is a pin cushion that also hooks up onto your trash bag, you know, like your fabric thing here. I got this one came from my friend who's no longer here. I hate to replace her, but it's not, y'all already know this is not my fabric. She loved Debbie Mom stuff, so this is her style. But because she made it, I have been using this for a long time. I think she passed in 2018, 16. I can't remember. I have to look. Oh my God. I have to look and see. I have it on my calendar to bring it up so I don't forget her every year. But yeah, so I keep her here, but it's not, you know, pretty for me. It's not pretty for me. And so I got that. And then the last thing, no, 2 things came from Checkers, which I haven't even opened that. I don't even remember putting this into the cart, but it came. So I must have been looking at it. I think this is one of those things where they tell you 6 months out that something new is coming, and then you can buy it early. Sometimes they'll give you a cheaper price for getting it early because it's going to be 6 months before it's ready. But it's a light. I always take this light here to retreats, and I'm hoping that I can hook this up to any table. I'm going to have to test it. I haven't even opened the box, but I want to test this. And I did order the patterns for the sewing caddy and the sewing tote. Those were on back order. They do have them in stock, but Checkers is one of those places that they won't send your back order stuff when they come in until you send in another order. And I'm like, I'm not ordering anything else right now. So I'm waiting on those to come in. Then the last thing from Checkers that I never opened, this really been here for a while. And I'm just going to cut part of it because I'm not going to cut all the way down. I had bought something for machine embroidery that needed cork. And y'all know how much cork costs. And then some places, like I needed a particular size of cork because of the bag. And I had to buy it by the yard. And then it can get really expensive to get cork by the yard. So I just went ahead and just ordered me a row. It's a very basic print. that you can use with other colors of cork and as your accents. I don't know if you all can see that. It's got a little shine to it, but it's all just like paint dots of color. And y'all know I love color. And then I was needing a piece that was like 29 inches. They're either 18, 24. I could never get a piece that was big enough. And I'm like, then I have to buy the stuff. So then I thought, you know what? I have machine embroidery designs. I think I have it that I can use this. So I thought, you know what? I might just do this. And then to make them different, I'll just use different accent colors if I decide to like make something for my family or something like that. Who knows? It might be a retreat gift being used at like 10 years from now. Who knows? But I got the cork, okay? I don't have to worry about it. So anytime I'm going to use cork in the future that needs a good quantity of cork, I'm not buying anymore. I'm just going to buy like smaller accent pieces that I can use to highlight what I already have. So that's why I wanted something that was kind of multicolor. I'm saying checkers as an apostrophe. It's Checker Distributors is the name of the company, and it is for wholesale people, businesses to purchase from. All right, y'all, hold on. Guess what? I was putting stuff up, and I said, I don't think I ever showed these fabrics. Look what I found. Because they're still in the bag. Because when I show them, I don't get this stuff back into the bags. Okay, so I know I ain't showed you. This one is, I'm trying to see. Yeah, it's the same all over, just different. And sometimes I buy fabrics and I'm going, they can go on the back of quilts, especially if I can find them at a good deal. When I'm putting stuff on the back of quilts, I need a minimum of 6 yards. Sometimes I have to put something in the middle to get it even bigger. Or I might need 9 yards. So I'm like, you know what? We can just buy some stuff sometimes when I'm trying out different suppliers and I probably didn't like the supplier or the time it took for it to come, which is probably why I didn't show it at the time. And now I don't even remember who the supplier is, but this one here is another one. Like I said, they must have been at a great price, that I could use this kind of stuff as backing, because I'm going to be cutting up some stuff to put on the back of my D2M quilt. So I said I better show this stuff before I go cut it up. So yeah, this one here, I have a lot of red with browns and red with whites and black. So this one I really like the spiral. Isn't that pretty? Let me see if we can open that up and see a whole spiral. I'm going to have to cut this apart because I don't want to pull it, because I need to get that off. That's how you remove the labels on your African fabrics. You need to put a paper towel on top, heat it really, really hot, peel it off while it's hot, and then put the paper towel back on it a couple more times. And it takes like about 30 seconds each time. It takes a minute. But I want to see the spiral. Ooh, isn't that pretty? You know what? This would also make a nice stack and whack. All this movement in the spirals, I'm hoping you all can see that. I can't see. I'm looking myself from this side, okay? But all the different movement, it would make a nice stack and whack. I was going to put another fabric on the back of a quilt. And because I did, it was like it wasn't my favorite. But then when I looked at it, I go, this will make good stack and whack. I'm not doing that. So that's, how many is that? 3? Here's another bag. Like I said, I probably had this, it could be almost a year. I have no idea. See, people like the spiral one. When you open it up, it's like you see a little bit more. This one, I can't remember why I got it. It's panel-ish. So let me open it up. I got to get those scissors back again. It's panel-ish. I don't think they consider it to be panels, but me as a quilter, when I'm looking at stuff, it's like stack and whack. Do you have 6 of those on there? So I start counting to see how many repeats of the design is available. So I'm trying to open this up. See, I don't know if this is panels or squares. So that's what we're trying to find out. So I'm going to just put this right here. It looks like panels to me. But when they sell you fabric, you're never going to get the correct panel amount. So what I do is, like, when it first start, it may not be a panel because they're just going to sell it to you by the yard. They don't care. They just cut wherever. And then when I sell it, if I sell it as a panel, I cut it off and then I use the excess pieces in my scrap quilts because it doesn't really matter. It's just a piece of African fabric. And people are saying that medallion is pretty. And this would be cut in the middle on each side, like this border thing here. This is where I would cut in the middle to make your panels. But that's not how they give it to us all the time. So sometimes we'll have 6 or 7 repeats, and sometimes we'll only be able to get 5 because of how they cut it. So really pretty. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh, so pretty. See, this is the type of stuff that if you want to make somebody a quilt, especially with African fabrics, and you don't want to, you know, do a whole lot, like you just get a panel, put it in the middle, and then you can do like half square triangles, plain borders, you know, mix up some plain borders, half square triangles, like larger half square triangles, like 5 or 6 inch half square triangles. And you go around it with some plain borders, 2 plain borders, a 5-inch half square triangles, and then a couple more plain borders, and then you've got the quilt done. You didn't have to buy a pattern. You didn't have to think about it a lot. And it makes a great gift quilt for somebody. This is one of those that are blocks, but I will probably just cut and use it wherever. But it's got the things where, like, remember that pattern I just showed you right here on top, seasoning. Now, no matter what size their blocks are, whatever size my blocks are, I would be modifying the pattern to match whatever size my blocks are. And that's how I tend to make my quilts. I don't care what the instructions say to cut. I cut what I need to cut for my particular project. And this is another panel-ish quilt. It's like stripes. It's not really like a panel. I'm trying to get it so you all can see right side up. So I'm gonna just start here low so you all can see it, because it's like a stripe. And some people like use these to make like clothing with, because it's all going in one direction. It doesn't reverse and go back the other way. So it has 2 things that I like. I love elephants. And then it's got the eye. Y'all know I love the eyes. So that's why I got this particular fabric. And I like the colors. I like the pink, green, and white. And it's probably got, it's got a little purple and black, but the selvage is blue. So the eyeballs are blue, because so then this fabric base must have been blue because of how the selvage is looking navy. But then they put the other colors on top of the blue. So yeah, pretty. Oh, I got at least one more. Hold on. Maybe 2. It's 2. I thought I was done. This is it. 2 more pieces. I'm going to go ahead and clip these open. Again, I don't want to pull these off because they're very sticky. This is the only thing that I hate about African fabric, is the process to get the stickers off. Like, why even put them on? Like, just stop it. Just stop. But they're made in other countries. They're not made in the USA. And they don't care about the stickers. We the only ones that care. When I have sticker on it and I just can't get all of the adhesive off, I use that on the underside. That's what I end up doing. I wanted to open this so that, because it's again one of those pattern designs that will look better if I can open it up without the sticker showing. So this is it's kind of like a baby pink, navy blue, and white. I don't see any black, but that's what the colors are in this one. I just wanted to see what it looked like. Woo-wee. And again, you know, this is a geometric design, and it looks really weird and strange sometimes, but I think, again, this will be another one of those that'll look good with Stack and Whack, and it's all about the movement that's going on in the print. Just like a flower has all these different things and all the stuff going on with the petals, any fabric that has some kind of movement to it, circular, triangular, arrows, all of those look really pretty as Stack and Whack designs. Oh, I'm folding it the wrong way. That's why. It's like when you first get the fabric, it's been folded like that for so long by a machine. That's the way it wants to go back. Sometimes I conform to it, and sometimes I do not. This is another one, kind of medallion style. I put the scissors up this time. Look at me. This is the last one. And we didn't go over too much. 20 minutes is not too much. It's like we went over a third, okay? Oh my goodness. But I don't have to worry about keeping this stuff in here. I can go put it up now. I don't know if this is a medallion as much as it looks like it's a pieced quilt. You know? Depends on if you really don't have to do any work. It'll be whatever the width of this fabric is, which I find sometimes it's a little bit bigger. It just depends on who made it. Sometimes they can be like 48 inches wide. Sometimes they're not. You can just cut a length and then just add borders onto this. And isn't this a whole quilt? Because even at the top, you've got your triangles, your quarter square triangles at the top. So you just cut the length you need, and you can start a really nice, good sized quilt with this one. So I originally bought these to put on the back of quilts, but see, this is what happened. Then I get them, and I'll be like, look at that. Oh my goodness. But yeah, that's pretty. I am going to use probably that orange one at the bottom, because I think I'm going to put that on the back of the D2M quilt. So let me get that one out. Not this orange. This one down at the bottom. I think I'm going to use this one as backing on my D2M. And I just love the fabric weight. It is just gorgeous. Let me see which trademark is on here. It says Holland. Trademark in Holland. It's a VIP print, veritable wax, VIP gold. I think I'm going to put this on the back of my quilt. I'm going to need more than this, but it'll be my start, and then I'll just use whatever, however much I need once I get the widths figured out. I'll go do all of that, and then this stuff will get put up. So now I can put that up. Let me get my phone so I can read. I love a bag with the blue print geometric fabric. That's Margaret. And like I said, I can't remember who I ordered from. The fabric is really nice. I can't remember why I didn't show and why I didn't order, because I'm wondering if it was how it was packaged or something. I don't know. But I haven't ordered from them again. I have to see if I can figure out who I last ordered, because this was the last time I ordered fabric. And I have to do like a search on my email for orders and see who I bought fabric from, because it's a company I hadn't heard of before. Claudette saying the fabric is beautiful. Thank you. Look, Remo saying I want that panel. Girl, I haven't been reading nothing. I know nothing. These fabrics don't even have, y'all gonna have to take some screenshots. I love a bag with the blue pink, beautiful fabrics. Thanks for sharing. I need to dig out my 5 African, I can't read the word. Blank from you, I'm inspired. Did she say kits? 5 African kits? She got 5 African kits for me? Goodness gracious. She's inspired. I can't remember. I don't know if that's kits or something else in there, because I can't read because of that big old nice red heart. But yeah, so I am going to, for some reason I like this one too, but I don't think I want it on the back of that quilt. I'll put it on the back of something else. But yeah, so yeah. I think I'm done. So we're gonna end here. I'm hoping to be back with you all Saturday. I do have family coming into town starting tomorrow. Gonna be in through Saturday night. I'm hosting like a fish fry, but at my sister's house, because I normally do Labor Day. Me, my mom, and my sister, we chatted and decided to go ahead and move Labor Day to Saturday for our whole family. So if any of the out of town people want to come, they can come. I'm actually we're doing a fish fry, but we will have chicken for people that don't eat seafood. Yeah, so that's what we're doing. So my sister, who loves to do the cooking and the shopping, so I didn't even have to go shopping. She went and bought all the stuff. I just cashed out her money. Okay. So that's what's going on. Let me see how many people are in here. 83 still. I did mention on Saturday on the second chat at the very end, it wasn't that many people in here, that I did have a death in my immediate family, and it happened the week that I canceled early in August, the first week in August, and we're having those services tomorrow. I really don't want to discuss it or talk about it. It's just something that I still haven't fully processed. So that's why I haven't shared it with you guys. And I don't need condolences to be put into the chat, because I'm still in the processing mode and I'm still trying to figure all of that out. And so that's why I haven't shared that information with you all. I'm not even telling you who is passed or any of that. I'm just saying that there was a family member that passed. And so if I don't make it Saturday, just know that it was something going on with that event that's happening this weekend. I'm hoping that I'm back home by 8. If not, I'll try to go live on my cell phone with you guys anyway and just chat with you all, even if I'm around my family, those that don't mind being on YouTube. So I have to get all of that approval when I'm there. Y'all so funny. I'm looking at all these yeses that have fell down that I stopped reading. Y'all are too funny. Or maybe it went up or something. So that's too funny. But I appreciate you guys coming in here and chatting with you guys. It's not only therapeutic, and I'm not only just helping you guys sometimes I'm actually helping myself. So I appreciate that. That's how come I got a lot of sewing done. You all notice in this month that I've got a lot of sewing done that I haven't been able to get done in a long time. Now, have I sorted and done all the other stuff I need to do? No. But I had to figure out the sorting and stuff. It was, you can only do so much before you get tired when you've got a lot of sorting, because I was preparing to get a shed that no longer is happening. And so, or at least not right now, because I don't want to invest in concrete in my backyard. It's going to cost me a lot of money to put concrete in my backyard. And I'm like, that's not where I want to invest my money. If I want to put some concrete out, I think I should be getting a new driveway or something like that to increase the value of my house, not just putting some extra concrete in the yard that may or may not increase the value of my home, which I feel like it would not. So, so I've been indecisive with that, but I had already started preparing for the shed because I was like to the point where I was ready to pay for the said shed, and then my city came in and put a big halt to that. So I'm still trying to figure out how I'm gonna move next, and I haven't figured that part out. And in the interim, I went and invested my money somewhere else, so I don't even have that money available to use until the beginning of January. So in the interim, I got to figure out where to put some of this stuff and what to do with it. So that's what I'm in the process of doing, because I was gearing myself, getting ready. I had started packing. So I've got like containers of fabrics that I was planning to put into the shed that I had bought to go in the shed. And they're sitting in plastic tubs in my kitchen because I have nowhere to put them. So yeah, that's kind of my life right now. So, trying to figure out where to put stuff. Mary is saying, yum, what kind of fish? Probably, they'll have jack for the children, so they just have the big bone to pull out, and then they'll probably do catfish fillets and nuggets my sister bought, and then we also do buffalo. Buffalo is full of bones, but you can get cuts that are less bone, so you have to be careful eating buffalo. But those are the fish that we grew up on, so I'm assuming that's what she's buying. I don't know, because I didn't do the shopping. I didn't care. If I don't have to shop, I eat just about any fish, and jack is my least favorite, so I know she wouldn't just buy jack. So yeah, so I'm hoping, like, I'm not a person that is like that stays out late, so I'm hoping that I will be back home by 8. So if I'm late or if I'm not here, you all know what's going on. I just want to make you all aware now that the time has come. So Vivian talking about, I got room. Of course you do, Miss Vivian. When it comes to some fabric, she said, I'll make some room. Thank you, Annette. She says, I really enjoyed seeing all the quilts and the beautiful fabric. So thank you, thank you. Benita says, you can put some in my house. So she's laughing too. These comedians in the chat. So, well, thank you all so much. I will see you hopefully Saturday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 2-hour live sewing chat. That's why Saturday's thing says to be determined. The TBD, to be determined. So I'll probably end up working back on doing at least, I got 40 half square triangles I still need to make, and then I need to make them into these rows that you all can't see all of because I got this right there. But so that's what I'm hoping to finish, because I do want to get rid of pieces. You know, I hate pieces. So once we get that done, I can start piecing the inside parts. I don't have my border piece, but at least I can piece the inside and have the inside of the quilt top done. So we need 5 more of those blocks to be sewed. So hopefully we can get those done on Saturday. So yeah, that's gonna be it, guys. You all stay blessed. Be safe, everybody. Quilt out. And tell your family members that you love them, even when they're a pain in the butt. All right, bye-bye.